I have a sister down in Clan. I have a sister down there, and I still haven't been down. She's in Skull. I still haven't been down there. She's there years. It's just too long. I'm not a great traveller. And you're no smart. And then you're like even. I got this for now. There's a feed of liquor in my stomach. I'm great. The best of it from Dingle to Enniscall. I got to go.
Okay.
And then from Enniscall to Venerable. Welcome to Mick Neville Park for the round 3 clash in the Irish Wire Products Limerick Senior Football Championship between Father Casey's and Monaleen. Father Casey's coming into the game on the back of 2 wins from their opening 2 games before the break, while Monaleen have a win and a loss to their name. I'm delighted to be joined in commentary by former Limerick player Pa Rana. And Pa, a very impressive start from Father Casey's to date.
Yeah, top scorers in the championship so far, John, and they've dealt well with the 2 games they've had. Definitely their toughest test coming today, you would say. A Monaleen team who ended Casey's championship last year at the quarter-final stage, so there's a lot in the line for both. I suppose Monaleen had their defeat first day out against Newcastle, so you'd feel they probably have a bit more riding on tonight's game.
You mentioned that scoring power from Father Casey's, that a victory, a 10-point or 6-point victory over Claughaun, 2-16 to 8-point win over Ula. We have the likes of Adrian Enright, Dylan Quirk, Chris Smith inside that forward line. There's targets everywhere that are well able to take their scores as well. Yeah,
you just look at the team, like a lot of teams have 1 or 2 scorers, but in fairness, I'd be feeling Casey's, they've never had one person they relied on that's usually spread of scores, and you've seen that in the matches to date. And I suppose the Barkey one at the minute after his year with Limerick has been Adrian Enright. Like, he was superb this year in the green and in the white jerseys, and he'll be lucky to carry that into championship as well.
One player we mentioned before we went live here on the Monaleen side was Darren Murray. He's not 18 till later in this year. He's an outstanding Munster final for Limerick a couple of years ago, minors with the Limerick 20s this year as well, as you mentioned. They've other players, but he's one player you'd like to look out for tonight as well.
Yeah, I was lucky enough to be with the 20s this year when Dara was there, and you couldn't say enough about his attitude, and he's a real leader even at how young he was, and he'll be a real leader even with the senior group, and it'll be very interesting to see how he carries that into the senior setup for Monaleen. I've no doubt that he'll handle it well. He's handled everything well so far, and look, I can't say enough about Dara so far.
Moments away from throwing here in Mick Neville. We do have the advantage of being in a very much unfinished stand, but Pa, it's great to see. We're up in we should probably have hard hats on here at the moment, but we don't. But it's great to see the development that is happening within Limerick J, certainly in a place like Mick Neville.
Yeah, look, it's you can say it's not before time, but look, it's great that it's here now, and we've a great view here of proceedings, and like there's still a little bit more to be done here, obviously. But look, it's fantastic when you see things. There's so much good stuff happening on the pitch in Limerick at the minute that it's great to see that the off the pitch stuff is going as well. And look, it'll be a class venue here once it's all put together, I'm sure. But for our vantage point today, it's a small bit windy. The shorts are probably a bad idea, but you've a great view here of the match.
Yeah, indeed, it is windy. We can attest to that here. It's always windy in Mick Neville Park, despite the glorious evening we have in front of us here as referee Jonathan Hayes going through his final checks, looking for a ball, I think, as well here to start. We're going to see Father Casey's in their blue and white, playing from left to right as you see it on screen in this first half, of Monaleen in their traditional red and white. We'll just give you a quick rundown of the teams before throwing here. Father Casey's Shane O'Connell, Dermot Buckley, Fiacre Cotter and Robert Brown. Half back line Sean Kilbridge, Cormac Roach for captain and Daniel Daly. Midfield sees Elijah Reardon, partner Adrian Enright. Half forward line David Ward, Dylan Quirk, Cahill Broderick. Full forward line Chris Smith, Martin Scannell and Rory O'Brien. Where Monaleen show one change to their advertised lineup. In goals, Donald O'Sullivan, Peter Clark, Owen O'Shea and Colin Moran make up the full back line. Half back line Ger Clancy, Dara Kennedy and Padraig Quinn. Midfield sees Larkin Lyons joined by Luke Murphy. Aaron Kennedy, Dara Murray and Ross Kennedy make up the half forward line. While number 19 Shane Cusick is in for Marco Dwyer. And the other members of the full forward line on this Monaleen side are number 14 Niall Loughran and Ger Connells. The evergreen Ger Connells is Father Casey. Deliver this one in, and it's Elijah Reardon with the long ball in. The Monaleen number 2 Peter Clark gets a hand to it, and Donald O'Sullivan's quickly off his line to just play a simple pass, left boot, out to his full back and captain Owen O'Shea. And Monaleen now try to working it through their hands with Ger Clancy and to Dara Kennedy, and indeed back into the full back line. It's Colin Moore in possession. Father Casey's, I should say, with a very strong breeze to their advantage in this first half.
Yeah, we really feel it up here, but it's definitely down on the pitch as well. You can see by the flags, and here they come straight through.
Yeah, Monaleen have coughed up possession here. It's a chance straight away. Goal chance indeed for Father Casey's. Onto his right boot, and it's a miss. It's a score indeed for Rory O'Brien. It's gone over the bar, but a very, very big chance there for Father Casey's.
Yeah, huge opportunity really. And you'd have to say, to be fair to Donald O'Sullivan goals, he didn't sell himself too early, and he stood Rory O'Brien up, and I suppose a point there from Monaleen's point of view was a good score to give away, because it looked goal written all over it, and that would have been a real start for the boys in blue.
Yeah, it was Elijah Reardon who won possession there. It was a 50-50 ball going across the semicircle, and it was Monaleen that nearly coughed up a goal in the early stages here, but it's Father Casey's through Rory O'Brien that have open the scoring here in McNeville Park, but it's Monaleen now trying to come out of their defence once more through their 45-metre line. The ball eventually coming back to Darren Murray. Murray, plenty of pace, and he goes for the return pass as well as the Monaleen number 11 out on that far side, delivering it in towards Jar Collins. Collins, plenty of experience, pops the pass away. Monaleen have the advantage. It's going to end up in a free, in a second free indeed, for a little body check on Darren Murray, but a good bit of play from Monaleen.
Yeah, that was nice football there now. Darren Murray, you can see that he's looking to get involved as much as he can possibly early on, and Jar Collins, as he's always done, showing well for it and been very unselfish with the ball, and they'll be happy to win frees into the Breeze, especially, John, because it'll just kind of kill that bit of momentum. Team with the Breeze doesn't want too many stoppages, and they're even bringing Donal O'Sullivan up to take these frees, so it'll take that little bit longer to do everything.
Yeah, smart bit of play from Monaleen. Donal O'Sullivan, no stranger to taking frees, well, from further distances than this, but should be well within his compass. A vastly experienced Monaleen keeper, of course, co-captain of Limerick, senior footballers as well. And even despite this very strong breeze in Father Casey's favour, you'd imagine Donal O'Sullivan will have plenty behind this one. Strikes it well, does the Monaleen keeper, and over the bar that one goes, and a fine response from Monaleen.
Yeah, an attack each for each team and a score each is what you'll be looking for. And the two goalies on show today, Shane O'Connell goals for Abbeyfield and Donal goals from Monaleen, will definitely be looking to go short a lot of the time, and you can see that already. Even when teams push up on them, they're confident enough to go with the sharp ball. Yeah,
very comfortable there from Shane O'Connell as Adrian Enright takes possession, finds a pass to Chris Smith. Smith into the middle for Father Cases as they look to go inside, then just over the head though of Rory O'Brien inside there, and it's going to go all the way to Donal O'Sullivan once more. Keeps it in play on the end line. Again, Monaleen will try and build from the back in no rush to play this one forward. They've no need to at the moment as Derek Kennedy passes this one out to Colin Moore, working it side to side on the City side. And now it's Derek Kennedy has an advantage and a bit of space to run into two before finding Luke Murphy, the Limerick, a senior footballer as well, on this Monaleen side. Pops a pass. There's a good bit of movement here, and it's number 19, Shane Cusick. Shane Cusick still going. He's been fouled as well. And again, that's two attacks from Monaleen, and very impressive stuff so far as Donal O'Sullivan makes his way up again, Pat.
Yeah, if they drew up a game plan or a blueprint how we want to start it, that's exactly what they're doing. They're running at the Father Cases defence. I suppose in this breeze it's hard enough to kick too far into it. Shane Cusack, he's a flyer really, played against him, like, and he's full of running all day, and Donal's jogging up to take this again, but they've been really comfortable on the ball. Derek Kennedy's seen a lot of it. Colin Moore, and of course back Monaleen again after his few years in Boven Mayo, so like he's a big addition, former inter-county player, so they do have a lot of options around the field.
And referee Jonathan Hayes maybe cottoning on early to what Donal O'Sullivan is at. He's in no rush to make it up to take this free. Whistle's been blown early, so Donal O'Sullivan could be under a bit of pressure to take this one quickly. I don't think it'll bother him in the slightest somehow, but a more difficult free, further distance, and the breeze is ever freshening here in McNeville Park as O'Sullivan approaches this one, goes short with it into Jar Collins. Collins back to O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan now running into a bit of trouble. Plenty of Father Casey's defenders, and they've won possession back. Good work from Father Cases. Smart enough move from Monaleen, but Father Cases were onto it, and there's no one in that Monaleen goals as Donal O'Sullivan tries to make his way back. Father Cases have it in midfield. Across it comes to Cormac Roach, the Father Cases captain. He's got his pass away now into the full back. It's Fiacre Cotter making his way up. Gets it onto Adrian Enright. There's still, now Donal O'Sullivan still isn't back. Good work there from Derek Kennedy. And it's Donal O'Sullivan on his own 14. He mightn't take a much needed break now after getting back there. Good work from the Monaleen defence. It was Derek Kennedy that got the hand in here, and Monaleen through Peter Clark in possession. And again it is to Owen O'Shea, their number 3 in full back. O'Shea goes with it on to the left hand side now to Ger Clancy. Clancy has plenty of options available. One of them is Luke Murphy in the middle, and he's got a pass away now to Ross Kennedy wearing number 12. And it's back inside now again to Larkin Lyons. Not the best of passes from Larkin Lyons. That's what last thing Monaleen need, and Martin Scannell winning it back for Father Cases into the middle. It's going to come now to Fiacre Cotter. Cotter, a vastly experienced player, doesn't have too many options inside, or coming more available now as Daniel Daly goes on the run, and Daly has plenty of pace. Good work there though to cut out the options by Ger Clancy. Maybe a tug in the jersey. Advantage is coming here for Father Casey's. Fairly blatant one from Ger Clancy, and probably fairly needless as well.
Yeah, it's the one thing, if you're defending, just don't pull the jersey, because it's just so obvious for referees, and they'll give you the benefit of the doubt. To be fair, Jonathan's a good ref, like, he'll let it go if he can let it go, but pull the jersey, we can see it from up here, so he can certainly see it from down there. It's a difficult free now from this way because it's blown into that corner, but it's one that Martin Scannell looks like he's going to be going after.
Yeah, it's a tricky one here. It is fairly close in, but the angle and indeed the breeze make this one a little bit more complicated than you may expect. Scannell has struck it fairly well, and that one has sailed between the uprights, so it's Father Casey's back into the lead, and a very confident strike from Martin Scannell.
Yeah, you'd have to say, like, I know it mightn't look like it, but that was in the elements that he's kicking into, to be so assured over it and to kick it the way he kicked it. Like, there's a sign of a good free taker, and it's interesting here now to see what Father Casey's do on the Monaleen short kick outs. They seem to be going man to man.
And that forces Donald O'Sullivan to go fairly long with his attempt, and Father Casey's have won it over on that far side, and Sean Kilbridge has been pushed out over the sideline. It's going to be a line ball for Monaleen.
Yeah, Sean Kilbridge was with the 20s as well this year. He's full of running, like, from rugby background as well, like, and he'll be up and down that line all day long.
Yeah, that's Monaleen go short with this one. Good work from Luke Murphy to win possession initially. And on the run now is their number 7. That's Padraig Quinn. Getting his pass away into the middle, it goes, and there's a foul. I think it's Derek Kennedy coming up from centre back there. Just took a little knock.
There are chances in the full forward lines of both. To be fair, both teams are not getting huge bodies behind it, so if you can move the ball a little bit quicker, there's definitely space there.
And one man who will be dangerous in and around that edge of the square is Ger Collins. Came short for that one, and it's now delivered inside to Shane Cusick. Cusick doing well. In fact, it's not. That's good work from Niall Loughran and Monaleen on the run, and another foul. And well, Father Casey is really keeping Monaleen there. Ger Collins knew exactly what he was doing, but needless fouls from Father Casey's point of view.
Yeah, it's just like, I know your Eli is trying to be aggressive in the tackle there, like, but just it was a tad too high, like, around the neck, and any good forward, especially Ger, he's well able to make the most of those, and it was definitely a free, like, and again Donald's jogging up for it. I didn't mind what they did last time, to be fair, like, it's something you always like to see, something a bit different, I suppose. Giving it back to him in a sea of blue jerseys probably wasn't part of the plan, but it's always good when people are keeping the other team on their toes.
Yeah, it was good defence very quickly from Father Casey, had to be said. Donald O'Sullivan was smothered very, very quickly. Smart bit of play between Collins and O'Sullivan, but O'Sullivan, you'd imagine this time that little bit closer in, about 10 metres or so closer in from his last one. He's already sent one over the bar, and looking for number 2 is the Monaleen netminder. And strikes it very well. Again, the white flag is raised, Pan. It's further evidence for Father Casey. They're going to give away frees there, he'll score them.
Yeah, he's a very confident kick from Donald. Like, whatever breeze was there, he cut straight through. It was like a golfer just like punching it through the air. Like, and we've looked out here. It's been 3 frees and they're the exact same area. And if you're a left-legged free taker, that's exactly where you want them from.
Yeah, it is. This Shane O'Connell goes short himself to Cormac Roach. Now it's in possession there for Sean Kilbridge. Back coming for it now is Cathal Broderick. So Father Casey's now maybe just trying to settle themselves again, and it's Fiacre Cotter has it now, looking at options of Fiacre Cotter. He's got a couple around it. David Ward was one, but he's played it long for Daniel Daly, and that's a needless cough up of possession there, and Monaleen easily picking this one up. And Larkin Lyons was back there, and it's Ger Clancy inside again to Luke Murphy. Derek Kennedy under a bit of pressure. Kennedy, such a vastly experienced footballer, plays his hurling along with his brothers on this Monaleen side with Maru Boher. Football with Monaleen, hurling with Maru Boher, as Padraig Quinn has to forced to go backwards to Darren Murray here, and Monaleen going back again to the vastly experienced Colin Moran. Moran switches it, so Monaleen going through their patterns of play now as O'Shea, the Monaleen captain, gets this one off to Larkin Lyons. Going into the middle now to Derek Kennedy. And this will suit Monaleen down to the ground. They've plenty of possession, Pan. They're in no rush to cough it up.
It's a tough one when you're with the breeze. Like, what do? Do you push out them and leave space in behind, or do you kind of sit in your game plan and hope there's a turnover coming? And that's what Father Casey have done, and they've forced a turnover. Yeah,
it was Adrian Enright winning possession back there for Father Casey's. And his delivery now in towards David Ward. It's a beauty of a ball, maybe, as Ward does brilliantly to get there. He'd had to run a long way, and Colin Moran has not been fouled, says referee Jonathan Hayes, and Ward has got rewarded for his enterprising run here. It's back to O'Brien, and Rory O'Brien has sent that one straight over the bar. Excellent finish from Rory O'Brien. That's the second point for him, but David Ward's hard work paid off in the end.
Yeah, like how many times have we seen a fella run all the way up and then just put a hand in the back or do something silly like? And to be fair there, I don't think it was a free. Just Cullum didn't pick it up in the first go, and they did well. Rory O'Brien, his tail is up. He's very much a confidence player, and he's 2 points on the board early doors from play, like, and they'll be looking to get him on the ball now as much as possible, definitely.
That's Monaleen go short once more. No surprise to see that, as Donald O'Sullivan now goes out on a run with the ball, looking for a bit of support, finds it in the form of Padraig Quinn. Quinn has done well, and he has advantage accruing to him after being tugged back by Chris Smith, but it's Monaleen now still in possession. Pressure coming on, and they've managed to hold on to it down before moving the ball back to Colin Moran. Moran now across to Owen O'Shea. Father Casey's are actually playing this fairly well, Pat. They're giving them up to the 45 before they start pressing.
Yeah, and you'd have to be impressed by how the forwards are working with Casey's. Like, every time Monaleen player gets the ball, there's a blue jersey on him or making him to make a decision. They are not sitting all the way back. I suppose with the breeze they have to be played that little bit higher, and they're certainly doing it. It's making for an entertaining game.
And Monaleen now on this attack. Shane Cusick taking that pass from Quinn into Niall Loughran. Loughran trying to turn. It's good work from Niall Loughran, and the arm around the shoulder. It's a blatant one yet again from Father Casey's, and no surprise, pal, we look to our right and Donald O'Sullivan is making that trot up the field again.
Like, there's a lot of players in the field, but I think Donald, if he's wearing a GPS, is probably his one is the highest at the minute, because he's made a few treks up at 4 at this stage, up and obviously back, and they're all around the same area. And again, it's a needless foul, because it's so hard to kick into the breeze if you're a forward, that giving a free from into that is just making their lives a lot bit easier. And it's just, as good as cases have been so far, if Dolan was to knock this over, like, you've level scores and Monaleen are playing into a stiff breeze.
You just have to look at it from Casey's point of view. They've given away these frees. Maybe take a little leaf out of the forwards book, who are pressing so hard when they need to, when Monaleen have possession. And saying this now, this free is probably the most trickiest that O'Sullivan's had. The angle is tricky, but the way he's struck them so far, it'd be no surprise to see it go up between the posts.
It'll have the distance anyway, I think.
So 2 points to his name so far from place balls. Monaleen keeper, as Donald O'Sullivan strikes this one, and yet again he has put it over the bar. Excellent stuff from Donald O'Sullivan. If Billy Lee is watching, which I'm sure he is, either here or on the stream, maybe thinking about Donald O'Sullivan the forwards next year.
3 points. Is it for 3 points already for Donald? And Monaleen have 3 points on the board. Like, so his strike rate's 3 from 3, because he even went short for one of them. So yeah, it's been very economical for Monaleen. They've had 3 attacks and gotten 4 attacks and 3 scores.
Well, it's Father Casey's now on the run again. It's Adrian Enright delivering this one in high to Rory O'Brien. Well defended back there by Peter Clark from Monaleen, and Owen O'Shea picks up the pieces.
There's been a few balls got in there, and Rory said it, like, and they can't see it because they're kicking it up into the sun, and even if it's a good ball in, he's not been able to see it, and he has said it to him a few times, and it's just something they need to be aware of.
Yeah, it was Larkin Lyons indeed that won that free for Monaleen. Exactly as Pa Renahan said, Rory O'Brien has got 2 points. He's looking for better ball, can't see it coming in. It's very difficult. Even the low ones are tricky, so you kind of need that bouncing ball more than anything else. Colin Moran playing this one to Peter Clark, and into the middle it goes to Luke Murphy once more. Murphy, good step off his right foot and into a bit of space, gets a hand pass away to the ever willing Ger Collins. Collins looking at options, doesn't have too many options, so forced to go wide to Padraig Quinn on that right hand side, wearing number 7 but playing right wing back is Quinn. Again, good diligent defending from Father Casey. He's out the field again. Good turn from Murphy again. Gets the pass away. Eventually coming into Larkin Lyons. Lyons on the run. Got options on the right. He's going to go through the middle himself. And Larkin Lyons would arguably the score of the game. Excellent build up from Monaleen. And Lyons manages to put Monaleen into the lead.
Yeah, that was super stuff. I'm sure Muir Gavin and Liam Lyons on the sideline would be delighted to see that sort of stuff come off. The balls that were being passed were really crisp. Kick passes, hand passes. Fellas are moving after passing. Even at the end there, you thought Larkin Lyons had maybe taken a play too much, but he got the ball over the bar. Super score.
And Monaleen have forced a turnover here off David Ward. Murray into Collins again. There's a run on the go here from Ger Clancy. Clancy's immediately met by Dermot Buckley and forced to come back, and Monaleen will be perfectly happy with that. As Aaron Kennedy plays this one back to Colin Moore, and he'll take it back again with Aaron Kennedy. Monaleen number 10 bringing it in past the 45 into the middle to the brother Dara. Dara will go backwards again. and it's very much patient from Monaleen, but it's working out very well for them so far. Kennedy now out to the right hand side to Padraig Quinn. Darren Murray is in front of him. Quinn may keep going with it. Murray just providing the option for the moment, maybe forced to go backwards. Gets a pass away to Shane Cusick. He's been very, very lively, wearing number 19. And it's Derek Kennedy now to Murray. Murray just pops a little hand pass and takes the ball back. There's Darren Murray running into a bit of trouble here. No foul, says referee Jonathan Hayes, and Father Casey's have forced that turnover. Good work here as Adrian Enright has an Enright. Will speed away from most players before delivering this one into Rory O'Brien. That's exactly the kind of ball O'Brien was been asking for. Onto his right, lovely strike from Rory O'Brien. That's the third point for him, and expertly taken point. That's what you do when you win a turnover.
Yeah, look, I just said about the super point that Monaleen got, but if you're defending a team and you turn over, like, that's one-on-one stuff there. Get the ball in as quickly as you can to your forward who's inside 1v1. Rory O'Brien has been asking for the ball, that type of ball in. He's got it, he got his score, and he's 3 from play now, and they've got another bit of a small win here with that short kick out being inside the D.
Yeah, and a chance now for Father Casey's to win possession deep in Monaleen territory. Larkin Lyons is going back from Monaleen, and David Ward is there for Father Casey. It's battle between the two, and it's Derek Kennedy that's first on the scene for Monaleen and doing very well to get out of danger before offloading to Ross Kennedy. And Ross now has Luke Murphy in front of him. Luke Murphy able to take possession before delivering it to Collins, and Collins' movement showing all the experience in the world. He's been tugged back again as Jerry Collins. Won't be a free immediately. Advantage accruing. Niall Loughran does well to win possession there for Monaleen. Needs a bit of help, does Loughran. Finds it in this form of Darren Murray. Murray just forced to slow it down before giving a simple pass. Indeed it is. And it's Luke Murphy trying this one. He's gone high with it. That will drop well short to Shane O'Connell. O'Connell easily takes that. It was never going near a needless one from Luke.
It was, and there hasn't been too many bad mistakes from either team so far, but that was just a bad decision for Luke. Like, you're kicking into the breeze, you don't need to take that shot on your level. You've got numbers up the field, and now you're turning over ball and you're having to defend.
Yeah, over 18 minutes played here in this Irish Wire Products Limerick Senior Football Championship. Round 3 clash between Father Casey's and Monaleen. It's all square at 4 points apiece, and David Ward finds Adrian Enright. Still manages to hold on to it before finding Ward. Maybe another goal chance here for Casey's. Donald O'Sullivan does well. He's gone down under the challenge. David Ward, he's fisted it and it's defended on the line. Again, O'Sullivan holds up. He's looking for a free. Is David Ward, and Jonathan Hayes has stopped play. He's looking, well, he's holding his head as David Ward and claiming a high challenge from Donald O'Sullivan. He didn't go down at the time, and maybe that's...
Yeah, I thought it was... it wasn't that blatant, a foul, or even a foul at all. Maybe he just kind of
stood up.
Yeah, he stood big, and normally you tell goalkeepers to stay big as much as you can. Like, and I think, to be fair to Donald, with the first chance in the match, he didn't go to ground. He made himself big, and it's probably up to the forward then to try and make your way around him. And I thought it was a good call anyway. Like, and let play go on. And another great goal opportunity though for Casey's. Like, you'd have to say they've had the 2 blatant ones in this game so far, and they haven't taken them.
No, they haven't. As David Ward is okay to continue. Doesn't seem to be complaining too much of it. Following that stop in play, and it's O'Sullivan now that has it for Monaleen. And he's gone for the return pass from Owen O'Shea as well, but it's going to be O'Shea holds on to it for finding... No, he's not going to find Ger Clancy, still going with it. And it's Donald O'Sullivan with it for Monaleen. Under pressure is O'Sullivan, and he has overcarried it, says referee Jonathan Hayes, and that free is going to be brought forward as well here. Martin Scannell has it, and they've gone with it now straight in to Adrian Enright, to Rory O'Brien on again for Father Casey's. O'Brien under pressure from Peter Clark, forced to go backwards to Adrian Enright. Enright will surely try to find a bit of space before sending this one over. 2 dummies from Enright, still hasn't been stopped. Enright with the shot. Another score for Father Casey's, and Monaleen Architects of their own misfortune.
Yeah, as much as we've been praising the bit of ingenuity they've done around things, sometimes you do overplay it. You don't want your goalkeeper caught out the field getting tackled like that, and it was a good turnover. And again, what you want off of this quick ball, and you thought maybe the chance has gone with Adrian because he's dummied twice on his left, but he's really, to be fair, improved that right leg, and he's drilled it over, and the pressure and possession they've had is starting to tell.
Yeah, Derek Kennedy not fouled by Chris Smith on this occasion. It's good work from Chris Smith, but Kennedy has done brilliantly. Eventually gets the foul, but he's away from most of the Father Casey's players there before finding Aaron Kennedy. Aaron Kennedy under pressure. It's good work there from the Father Casey's defence. Might work out for Niall Loughran. Great turn from Loughran, but Looked a bit dodgy, and Jonathan
Yeah,
Hayes thought the same as us here in the commentary box. Gives the free to Father Casey.
Pure science tells you that wasn't probably possible, but to be fair to Niall Loughlin, he's been a serious target man inside the full forward line so far.
Yeah, did well from that to even get to that delivery. As good work from Father Casey's. There's Monaleen through Larkin Lyons, force another turnover. Great work from Lyons now, and there's space for Cusick to run into. He's got Ross Kennedy with him. Kennedy now has a space. He's got Darren Murray in the middle. Father Casey's quick to close that one down, and it's Ger Collins now from Monaleen out in that far sideline into Niall Loughlin. Loughlin, bit of space to run into immediately though. Casey's have cut out that space. Have done very well from a zonal point of view. It's when Monaleen get beyond that zone is when they've looked dangerous so far tonight, and it's Monaleen forced to go back to the middle, and with their captain Owen O'Shea moving it now over to this left hand side, and Larkin Lyons, 1 point to his name so far in the game, Larkin Lyons, and he's looking for a bit of help here, and it's back to Dara Kennedy, and Dara Kennedy very much operating as a sweeper here, finds Luke Murphy. Murphy has Padraig Quinn to shoulder the sides to step back instead, find Ger Collins. Collins now looking in front of him. It's a good turn there from Luke Murphy off to Niall Loughlin. Loughlin trying to create a bit of space himself out to the right hand side to Padraig Quinn. Good diligent defending there though from Father Casey. They're looking not to give away another free. All frees bar that Larkin Lyons point from Monaleen in this opening half, and they're forced to go back out through Luke Murphy, and it is a good work from Father Casey's.
Yeah, and it is, because they're not committing those fouls inside that they head up to now, and at the same time Monaleen will be quite happy to take the sting out of that bit of mini revival or mini burst from Father Casey's and move the ball around and get a bit of possession, because they've spent a lot of this half chasing the ball.
Indeed, and there's a bit of space now for Ger Clancy to run into. Clancy coming back onto his left foot. Darren Murray will certainly be one of the targets that Father Casey's will be watching, certainly in front of goals. But again, Father Casey's have forced Monaleen out the field. They're going left to right and right to left and back each time here, but they've done well to hold on to possession. Monaleen, very patient stuff, as Shane Cusick takes possession once more into the middle to Cullen Moore, and Moore back to Cusick. Good work from the number 19 on this Monaleen side, started instead of Marco Dwyer, but very much a big part of this Monaleen side so far. We've a bit of a stalemate here. Father Casey defending very well, but Monaleen working the ball well at the same time.
Yeah, McNeville is a big pitch as well when you have the ball, or when you're trying to chase it. It's usually up to a mistake, and I think there's your mistake, that Little took eye off the ball and they want to make hay now when they get a turnover.
Yeah, it's Eli Reardon here for Father Casey. The arm just came up high around the neck, and it's a free, and Reardon has taken this one quickly. David Ward onto Daniel Daly, and Daly now with a bit of space to run into. Ger Clancy's advancing onto him, but just diverts backwards, and it's Father Casey's in possession once more. The pass coming from Dylan Quirk to David Ward. Ward he may have been tempted to take that one on, decided not to, and it's Father Casey's now to have a spell of possession. Good work there from Daniel Daly, moving it on, and to Dylan Quirk, bringing it into the 45, but then forced to come back outside, and Cormac Roach is going to have a go from here. It's a fine strike from Roach, and that's an excellent score. We said Larkin Lyons point maybe to score the half. You'll find a better one to beat that tonight.
Yeah, that's your leader at the minute, and it is interesting to see Cormac Roach with number 6 in his back, because so often he's been in the forwards for cases over the years, but if there's one thing he definitely has in the locker, it's that score. It's that score when he gets time on the ball, and that was a super, with a bit of breeze at your back, but doesn't make it any less a great score. It was a slicer for Kevin McStay, I would say, but a really good score now and a 2-point lead.
Yeah, 2-point lead for Father Casey's. It's been a game that has been level 4 times, but Father Casey's with the last 2 scores to put them into a 2-point advantage here after 25 minutes of this Irish Wire Products Limerick Senior Football Championship round 3 clash I should say, as Monaleen through Dara Kennedy look to advance once more out of their defence. Father Casey's have been very good in the last 10 or so minutes in stopping Monaleen, but Kennedy has done well to beat a couple of defenders for finding Padraig Quinn. Now it's Cusick on that far side again. Needless tug on the jersey, and that's the kind of patience that Father Casey, well, they have been shown that kind of patience up until that move, but it's not worked out for Monaleen. Surprised the free wasn't given there, Pa.
Yeah,
since they went backwards.
I think he, I suppose he just said they had possession and let him play away, and that's what you want, I suppose. Let the game go as much as possible. There's enough stoppages as it is.
Yeah, it's Dara Kennedy now advancing for Monaleen. Good work from Collins to create a bit of space, but again, he's gone 10 metres backwards with it to find a man, and that's more to do with Father Casey's defending it more often than not as Padraig Quinn. looking for a bit of help himself and forced to go backwards again. Was he hit late? Certainly the Monaleen fans on that far side believe so, but they'll just get on with it, and Owen O'Shea has it for Monaleen, trying to get off the challenge here, and Ross Kennedy has it for Monaleen. Ross Kennedy's going to have a go here. That's not even going to go near the goals. Wynn takes that, and a good catch back there by Dermot Buckley for Father Casey. And again, for the second time in this half, Monaleen kicking from far out, but they really didn't need to on Father Casey's. Looking to take advantage here. They're managing to hold on to it. Good press maybe from Monaleen there, just forcing Father Casey to slow down that counter after the turnover, and it's David Ward now down his right hand side.
Oh, the chance here now, breakthrough, but it was 2v2 inside there, and they did well now initially with the mistake, and here come Casey's.
And Scannell gets it after Rory O'Brien. O'Brien gets a hand pass away. There's room for Dylan Quirk. He's well capable of putting that one over. That's exactly what Dylan Quirk has done. 3-point lead for Father Casey's, and they worked that one very well, Pat.
Yeah, Dylan Quirk, free taker over the years for Casey, so when he had that amount of time on the ball there, you did fancy him, and it was very controlled inside of the foot strike. It's using whatever elements are there, but you'd have to say the last 5, 6 minutes, 7 minutes that Casey's have really kind of set the tone for the game. They're the ones that are forcing the turnovers. Monaleen might have had a lot of ball, but they're actually not really threatening too much. They've been forced into maybe taking silly shots, and Casey's trying to catch them on the break, and again they're whatever about getting up the field, they're actually making a count.
Yeah, they are, and there's a problem now for Ross Kennedy and Monaleen. Seems to be getting a bit of attention on his calf here, and also Martin Scannell from Father Casey's. There's a bit of a problem with Scannell, seems to be fine. You just see that calf stretch there from Ross Kennedy, indicating that it's that anyway, but seems okay to continue. So it's Father Casey's looking for their third win out of 3 games in this Senior Football Championship in 2022, and they're heading for it by the looks of things here. 3-point lead over Monaleen as Donald Sullivan goes short. Finds his captain Owen O'Shea, with Scannell putting under pressure, but O'Shea has done well. He's had a good game from full back, come out well with possession. He finds Larkin Lyons, and Adrian Enright pushing up on Larkin Lyons. Back to Donald Sullivan. He's forced, and it's been very noticeable in the last few minutes, past 5 or 6 minutes certainly, as you said, that Father Casey's are really starting to push up on Monaleen. There isn't that much space.
Yeah, they're the ones kind of dictating the way the game has been played now, and they're been as big as Monaleen are around the field. Casey's have been quite physical. They've used their bodies very well to kind of put pressure on every shot kick out. There's a blue jersey on a red jersey, and it's making life hard for them. And Monaleen are playing into the elements. We have to end the sun, so it's probably difficult. But they are making life very hard for Monaleen to work the ball up the field, and it's probably led to a lot of passes going left and right. Although Derek Kennedy, to be fair, has shown a lot of good ball in this first half. Yeah,
Darren Murray's done plenty of running for him as well. Gets this pass into Niall Lochran. It was unlucky there from Fiacre Cotter. He got the ball in the hand, but the other hand happened to be on the shoulder of Niall Lochran. Monaleen have gone short with it. It's Kennedy across the edge of the square. Goal chance, saved. Chance again for Murray. Murray gets a shot away on the line. Shane O'Connell dives on that one, gets the hand pass away. And it's Monaleen with their first goal chance of this half. Wasn't a great strike on the punch, maybe across. Ross Kennedy gave the correct decision, Pa, but the finish wasn't there.
No, it wasn't. There wasn't enough power in it. It was still a good save from Shane. He had to be there to make it. But geez, that was a serious goal chance for Monaleen. And what a score to win just before half time to level it. But yeah, they did well to get it out, and Shane O'Connell did well to recover the second ball. But that was a serious 3-point opportunity.
Yeah, big chance for Monaleen. It could have a big bearing on this game just before half time. We're in the 30th minute here as Father Casey's on the attack. Great intervention though from Colin Moore, and he's been fouled as well. Very timely one for Monaleen, that one too, as Father Casey's looking to go 4 points up before the break. That's another foul by Adrian Enright. Probably a smart one from Adrian Enright too, stopping a quick free. But Monaleen go quickly with Derek Kennedy in possession. Kennedy finds a pass to Darren Murray, just that bit far out for Murray. Just a pass goes. Larkin Lyons has done well to win it back for Monaleen. There's a foul, and there's going to be another chance for Monaleen. And we need to see here if it's going to be Darren Murray or is Donald Sullivan going to make his way back up yet again. He's making the trot, Pat.
Yeah, he's up to, he's 3 from 3 so far, and this is the first one on this side of the goal, so we'll see what way he comes at it. But a bit sloppy there from both teams. Casey's Monaleen giving the ball away, then Casey's on the break giving the ball away. Just ball's not going to hand a small bit, and a foul then probably was a foul, because to be fair to, I think it was Larkin Lyons, he did well to win the ball.
Clancy indeed.
Clancy, sorry. To do well to, you'd always tell your player there, look, don't cough up the ball, even if you're over carry it, don't give up the ball, and he did well to hold on to it and earned the free. So it'll be a good way for Monaleen to end the half, to be very happy to go in only 2 down, I think.
Donald Sullivan, first one, just a few metres left of the post, even maybe 2 metres left of that post. The angle isn't bad, it's just all about the distance here. Strong breeze into his face. He's got 3 from 3 as Paranan mentioned, and he struck that one very well as well. This time it stayed to the left and wide, and he had the distance, Pat.
Yeah, it was a good strike again. It just didn't probably come in as much as he probably started a small bit out to the left a bit too much, but it was definitely a good strike, and certainly Casey's not need to tidy up to tackle it in the second half.
And it's a good kick out from Shane O'Connell, very accurate one, and Father Casey's have plenty of options here, maybe fashioning a goal chance. There's a shooting chance here. It's going to be easily popped over the bar by Cathal Broderick. 2-point swing there. Father Casey's into a 4-point lead.
Yeah, you'd wonder. I think it must have been something they worked on, that kick out to the wing here for, I think it was Chris Smith, and he kept it in play very well. Chris, very fast, international soccer player, and they actually had a double overlap if the ball had gone to hand, but they still managed to get a score out of it. And 8 points to 4 is probably justice for the way the game has gone.
Yeah, and it's very, very good stuff from Father Casey's. 5 points. They've got the last 5 points, and Monaleen really struggling to get going again here since that Larkin Lions point. Haven't scored since the 16th minute, but they've got a free here, much to the Monaleen sideline, I thought, but it's the Father Casey sideline that we're giving out. I think Monaleen were calling for something, maybe a card. Not much in that one though, as we've played 2.5 minutes of added time here. Not much left, you'd imagine, on Jonathan Hayes' watch. The remaining of this first half. It's Loughran, who showed so well for Monaleen in this first half. Going to get a shooting chance away is Niall Loughran, and he's just to the left and wide. It was brilliant bit of play from Loughran, but just didn't have the finish.
Yeah, he did everything, and he's been doing a lot of that in this half, and he's actually deceptively fast, because we're watching him inside here off the ball, he's making runs, and time again he's getting separation from the full-back Cotter, and he's probably just unlucky there. He deserved a score off the back of that.
Yeah, just maybe the breeze took it away, like that free from Donald O'Sullivan, as Shane O'Connell goes towards Chris Smith again here. Doesn't go to really anyone, should be Monaleen ball here, as Luke Murphy goes inside with it despite the call to the wing. It's Larkin Lions now in possession for Monaleen after Derek Kennedy, and that's the half-time whistle blown by referee Jonathan Hayes at the end of the first half here. It's Father Casey's leading by 8 points to 4. Pa, your thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, it's been really entertaining from the watch up here, bar just maybe a spell in the middle of it there where teams kind of got settled and were getting comfortable in the ball. But the good thing to see is the minute either team loses the ball or gets a turnover, they're straight, they're trying to move the ball up the field. Obviously it's much easier in that half for Casey's, but they have used it very well, I've thought. 8 scores in one half of football, the majority of those coming from play, like it's exactly what you'd be hoping for. On the flip side, Monaleen, we probably didn't mention it, but Brian Donovan, his loss is probably been felt a little bit in the forwards. They've 3 points from Dolan goals from frees and a point from Larkin Lions at midfield, but probably not seen enough scores, even though Niall Loughran inside is shown very well.
Yeah, it's Father Casey's in the ascendancy here in McNeville Park at half time here. They lead Monaleen by 8 points to 4. Join us for the second half shortly. Welcome back to Mick Neville Park for the second half of this Irish Wire Products Limerick Senior Football Championship. Round 3 clash between Father Casey's and Monaleen. It's Casey's, the Abbey Field side, who lead 8-4 at the break. Paranahan second half, Monaleen with it all to do, but have the advantage of a strong breeze. And you know, going before the game started, a 4-point deficit against that breeze, they may have been fairly okay with it.
Yeah, I think both teams will be relatively okay with the scoreline. You'd have to say when it was 4-3 to Monaleen halfway through the half, they'd have been worried. Casey had been worried that they weren't making full advantage, but 5 scores in a row, as you said, is really kind of put a rubber stamp on their authority in the first half. But Monaleen, 1 or 2 changes in the way they're approaching the game, and with those elements, it's probably hard for the defenders as much as the forwards playing to that sun. So, like, a goal absolutely could change this game, and they don't need to be going for goals too early either. There's still a whole half, and they got the breeze at their back.
They hadn't shown any sign of getting close to a goal in that most of that first half, but just towards the end, little quick free and a gap opened up. They were unlucky, finish just didn't go to plan, but that's a warning for Father Casey, is that they're capable of creating them chances.
Yeah, they definitely have the players in the field, and with Niall Loughlin inside winning ball, if they can get someone off him, you could see a goal chance coming.
As Monaleen through Ger Clancy immediately on the attack, plays this one back to Dara Murray. Murray trying to get a space, finds Niall Loughlin. Possession back with Monaleen now, and Slarkin Lions 1 point from play in the first half. Got Padraig Quinn with him, and there's plenty of space for Quinn. Take on his man here. Good work from Cathal Broderick, and gets the pass away, does Quinn. Out to this side now where Shane Cusick has shown very well for Monaleen in this first half. Plenty of runs. Padraig Quinn plays this one. That's good work again, a good hand pass off there, but Father Casey's are there. Ross Kennedy's pass doesn't go to plan for Monaleen. Cusick couldn't take it, and it's Robert Brown now for Father Casey's, and it's they that have possession through Dylan Cork and looking to add to their 4-point advantage that they currently hold. And it's in battle for possession in midfield. Eli Reardon plays it to the right hand side, and there's a bit of space now for Daniel Daly to run into. Gets the hand pass away to David Moore, and Moore trying to step away from the challenge of Ger Clancy. Hand passes into the midfield to Adrian Enright. Enright does a little bit of basketball skill to bounce it past the Monaleen player before delivering a pass to Sean Kilbridge. There's a bit of space for Kilbridge. May not have a arc to shoot. Decides to give it back to Chris Smith instead. And back into the middle to Enright once more. Enright now on the run for Father Casey's. Good work from Adrian Enright's been fouled by Peter Clark, says referee Jonathan Hayes, and a bit of experience from Adrian Enright there. Ran into the challenge, knew exactly what he was doing.
Yeah, he probably he was just on the edge of giving it away, I'd say, and just Peter's hand in there and made the most of it. But like, it was very good from Casey's there. They are going to run the ball in this half. You can see that already. They're not going to try and waste too many balls. The first half they were quite direct. You can see now they've got the players in the field, they're able to carry it as well. And Martin Scanlon was excellent with his 1-3 so far, and it'll be interesting to see against the breeze what he's like.
Yeah, 1 from Scannell in that first half. Difficult enough angle. He's kicking right into the teeth of the breeze. Is the Father Casey's number 14, but that's no problem whatsoever, and it's 6 in a row either side of half time for Father Casey's, and it's a 5-point lead.
Yeah, and it's a big lead in this game now. They can try and manage it. There's a change coming here. Looks like on the Monaleen side, looks like it could be Ross Kennedy that's jogging off that side of the field. But yeah, here we go. Monaleen with the kick out again. They're pushing up Casey's. They're sticking to their game plan. They're not dropping off and giving up the ball. They're making life very difficult for Monaleen to come out.
And Donald Sullivan pinpoint delivery to his fullback and captain Owen O'Shea. Peter Clark now on it, as that sub coming in is Mark O'Dwyer, who is on for Ross Kennedy, wearing number 13 but didn't start it. Mark O'Dwyer,
he will carry a bit of a goal threat, Mark. He's often a good eye for a goal in matches, and definitely more of a scoring threat anyway.
And it's O'Dwyer into the action immediately. Niall Loughlin can't take it, just got a hand to it, and Shane Cusick will pick up the loose ball for Monaleen. It's Monaleen now that trail Father Casey's by 9 points to 4. It's Darren Murray into Cusick. Cusick now into the aforementioned O'Dwyer. He's looking to get that ball into the middle. Gets a pass, and a pass comes, and the shot coming in from Padraig Quinn, and Padraig Quinn sends that one over Paran, and a fine response from Monaleen.
Yeah, and you can see already Mark O'Dwyer is getting involved in the play, and he's making tackles have to be made from Casey's. And to be fair, they were making up to there. Padraig Quinn used his strength there to break one more tackle, and a lovely finish off his right leg, and it was the score they needed. Yeah,
first score since the 16th minute for Monaleen. We've played 4 minutes nearly of this second half, and it's Father Casey's through Daniel Daly on the attack here. Delivers inside. It's a good ball to Rory O'Brien. No problem with this on his eyes in this half. Rory O'Brien as David Ward now takes possession. He's got Eli Reardon on his left, and it's Reardon bringing play inside the Monaleen 45. Good work from Colm Moore and putting the pressure on. Enright comes on the arc. Adrian Enright with the shot, and what a score that is. Brilliantly worked score from Father Casey's, and quick as you like, they're back into a 5-point lead.
They're into the field, like the sharp kick out. Daniel Daly with a bit of pace up the line. Lovely kick pass inside to Rory O'Brien. Won it, popped it off the ward. It was Eli, he was stood up the Monaleen defender, and then exactly what you want in at that time. You have someone coming on the loop, and just a brilliant score from Adrian Enright. Super.
Yeah, 10 points to 5 now in favour of Father Casey's, and it's a breaking play here as David Ward receives a bit of attention. So it's a long road back from Monaleen. It was at 4 points, but Casey's have been very, very efficient in the second half so far.
Yeah, to be fair, most of the game they have been very efficient. They've 10 points on the board and we're only 5 or 6 minutes into the second half. There's very few times they've wasted. Obviously they've had the 2 goal opportunities that they've no score from, but they've wasted very few point opportunities, and they've shown that they are the side who has scored the most in the championship to date, and they're doing it again. I think there's another change in the Monaleen side. Colm Moore gone off. I think it's Peter Cusack that came on there.
Yes, Peter Cusack wearing number 21 for Monaleen is on the field. There's going to be a change as well. David Moran isn't going to continue here for Father Casey, wearing number 10. His game is over, and onto the field for them is number 17 John Reardon. So changes aplenty in the opening stages of this second half. Peter Cusack on for Colm Moran on the Monaleen side, while John Reardon, number 17, replaces number 10 David Moran on the Father Casey side. And Moran will be a loss for Father Casey's. Plenty of industry.
Yeah, I suppose the 2 of the older guard, though, they're probably like myself, they're not able for the full match anymore, so John Reardon will be full of running and David Ward has his job done. And
it's in right now into Eli Reardon shooting chance. Well, he went for the goal that Eli Reardon, and maybe better just dummy that and put it back onto his right and pop it over, but went for glory, didn't work out.
Yeah, no need to go for it there, but I suppose young fella just going for a top corner, but we were just been praising it so much about their decision making in front of goal. That was one he'd want back again, but look, 5 points up, it's something. Monaleen are going to have to change something the way this game is going so far, because it's all Father Casey's.
Yeah, indeed it is here, and Luke Murphy might be the man to change it for Monaleen. Delivers this one into Ger Collins. They need him closer to goal. Blatant pull on the jersey there from Dermot Buckley. It's Darragh Murray in possession now. Murray, thought he had the advantage coming. The advantage was up, says referee Jonathan Hayes, and it's Father Casey's on the run once more here. And
Rob Brown, he's another it's great to see the older fellas still knocking around.
You're feeling better about life watching this.
None of them are as old as me, but it's Browner, in fairness, he always looks after himself and he's up and down the field and he's a good head and the shoulders, but they're full of run in this Casey's team. They're very athletic and they're well able to use the ball.
Really impressive season so far from them, as Adrian Enright just shunts that one inside. It's a good ball indeed into O'Brien. It's Enright takes it back then for Father Casey's. Adrian Enright with the hand pass. Plenty of Monaleen defenders around to crowd out Sean Kilbridge. So Kilbridge gives it back to Cormac Roach on the 45. He scored one from this range in the first half. Won't do it this time as Cusack gets a boot to it. It's worked out for Monaleen as well here. And there's a bit of space now for them to attack. And Mark O'Dwyer off to Shane Cusack. It was Peter Cusack that stopped that attack for Father Casey. The ball's inside to Niall Loughran. For once in this game, Loughran wasn't able to gather possession. There was a big chance going there for Monaleen. They may have been 45 metres out, but there was something brewing there.
Yeah, the head runners, the one ball that you wanted him to stick with, and most of the balls have stuck so far, but the one ball, and he'd runners off his shoulder, and it was a counter-attack, so Casey hadn't been set yet, and very few times have Monaleen had that chance in this match so far, but just couldn't get hands on the ball and gave it away.
Indeed it did, and it's Father Casey's now with possession. And it's Fiachra Cotter gets the call from Dermot Buckley. Plenty of communication as well from Father Casey, it has to be said. Very loud calls to the player in possession, the player out of possession as well to make the run. And it's over with Robert Brown now. Brown belying his age and getting this pass away to Reardon. It's a slick move now with Daniel Daly on the ball. Has Martin Scannell on the loop. And it's Scannell still going with it. Maybe a score here could finish things here. The ball's across. Oh, it's a slip there from Chris Smith. Leg just gave away there. May have been a bit high for him anyway, as he went to take that pass from Martin Scannell. It was lovely football from Father Casey's. And it's a battle for possession now between Derek Kennedy and Eli Reardon. And a little nudge from Reardon, says the referee Jonathan Roach. And Well, that could have been the finishing of the game, Pat.
Yeah, it was just a tad bit too high that he had to kind of put his foot down and try and get it, and then just a bit of earth around the 13 there. He wasn't able to get his foot in, and that definitely would have put the hat on it there. But yeah, they're just looking dangerous. I think Monaleen they need a score now soon, because Casey's are probably going to score again pretty soon.
Yeah, it's Mark O'Dwyer trying to
Lovely
provide,
score.
and he does that expertly. Lovely strike off the left for the Monaleen substitute, and Pat, you called for it and he gave it.
Yeah, he definitely has added more to their attack since he's come on the field, and like left and right he's well able to kick his points as he's shown, but they need more of that. They need to be able to put scores back to back now, because they're just not probably getting the ball up enough to be able to miss those chances. And to be fair to Mark, he's definitely brought that to the game. When you're going onto the pitch as a forward, what you want to do is get on ball and then get scores, and he's done both.
Indeed he has. Mark O'Dwyer providing the spark maybe that Monaleen need here to get back into this game. It's certainly in Father Casey's favour at the moment. They've held on to maintained their 4-point advantage with 10 minutes of the second half gone here in McNeville Park, as Adrian Enright goes away from a couple of Monaleen players. That's still Enright in possession. He'll want it onto that left foot, gives it inside instead. Brilliant movement from Rory O'Brien. A pass comes off now to Broderick. Indeed it comes to Chris Smith, and Smith sends that one between the posts yet again. Fine score again from Father Casey.
Yeah, and they're finding it that little bit easy. Adrian Enright, to be fair, is really causing damage now. He's making players miss tackles, he's breaking tackles, he's creating space inside, he's giving the right ball into the lads inside. And to be fair, Rory O'Brien, very unselfish there, found a man in the better position coming through, who also found Chris Smith, and it was a good score, a good response.
And Monaleen now need to respond again here. There's a free coming their way, much to the chagrin of the Father Casey fans on that far side. And referee Jonathan Hayes maybe heard something more from the sideline than the fans indeed, and he's brought this one forward right onto the 65-metre line. As Monaleen about to bring in another substitute, it's Conor Marlowe that's set to come on there for Monaleen. Indeed has come on as Conor Marlowe on that left wing. I'll just confirm who's come off in a moment or so. I think it'll be Aaron Kennedy that's the part of the scene for Monaleen, as Niall Loughran unable to make another ball stick back there, and John Reardon is there for Father Casey's. Foul on Reardon here, and Father Casey's playing no rush. They're doing everything they need to do to hold on to their advantage.
Yeah, when they are getting the ball, like they are keeping it for a while. If they're making the most of it, they're not generally giving it back fairly easy to Monaleen, and that really does kind of take the sting out of a team when they're chasing it. You want the other team to make a mistake and give it back to you easily, but they're not doing it, and Adrian Enright on the ball is having a massive influence in the game.
Monaleen are doing everything they can to stop the Limerick County player. Lovely turn then for Adrian. It was a look and go from Enright for delivering this one into Rory O'Brien. O'Brien now gets out in front yet again ahead of Owen O'Shea. He's going to try and get back onto the right. He's going to try and fashion a bit of space. Good defending though. Maybe a chance indeed in the end coming from Sean Kilbridge, and that one goes between the posts as well for Father Casey's. It's a 6-point lead now, Pat, and they're really thundering into the second half.
Yeah, and again Adrian was at the heart of it there. He out of midfield looked like there was nothing on. Arca Lyons had stood him up, and he just threw a dummy, created a bit of space, ball into the full forward line. And we said it beforehand, but there's just a spread of scores with Casey's. There's half-backs coming up, midfielders, full forward line are getting scores. There's scores, centre-back has a score, so there's just scores coming from all over the pitch.
And it's Cusick now that has it. Peter Cusick for Monaleen. Padraig Quinn gets it then. He's going to deliver this one into the edge of the square for Loughran. There's a hand on it. Brilliant work back there from Fiacre Cotter, working with Loughran. Managed to just hold him off, get the hand on it, made sure it was easy for Shane O'Connell. And Father Casey's through Robert Brown switches play, and there's plenty of room over on that side for Daniel Daly. No harm to see that option from Monaleen either though.
Yeah, I think they need to go to it probably a bit more, and just see what it becomes, because they're going to need something a bit different to make up to 6 points. They probably won't do it point for point, even with the breeze, because Casey's looking dangerous every attack. And
it's Rory O'Brien has been tugged back. He's still going though, Rory O'Brien. He's going to take the free in the end though, and he's proving to be such a danger for this Monaleen side. Owen O'Shea's doing his best. Dara Kennedy was in them as well, but alas, a free is given away, and look, O'Brien has been a constant thorn in Monaleen side.
Yeah, and like if you're on the Monaleen sideline, it's like which hole you're trying to plug here at the minute, because you've Rory O'Brien inside causing damage, you've Adrian Enright out the field causing damage, you've half-backs getting up the field and scoring and causing damage. So it's a lot of stuff to try and sort out at once, and it's at the minute they're not stopping Casey's. Every time they come forward, they look like getting a score, and it's another opportunity here.
Martin Scannell giving this one away to Adrian Enright. left foot from that angle and suit him more, you would imagine. So Enright having a storming game for Father Casey's, and just as you build that one up, we've said so many positive things about Adrian Enright's performance. We'll leave that one slide.
Leave the freeze, so Adrian, leave the freeze. Yeah, we've learnt that. But look, it's everything else has been going so right for him. Why not take it on? It's probably not going to make a big difference at the minute to the way the game is going, but it's one blot in his copybook.
It is, as Donald O'Sullivan goes short. It's on that far side here. Monaleen through Marlowe, keeping it in play. Number 21 on this. Sorry, number 18, Conor Marlowe, as Monaleen into the middle through Niall Loughran, who seems to have come out now from full forward, delivering this one inside. And there's no win on that one for Monaleen inside. And out Father Casey's come with ease yet again. It's Cathal Broderick, I should say, to Martin Scannell. Scannell gets the call in from Rory O'Brien. It's a good ball in. And it's O'Brien with a lovely turn to beat Peter Cusick. Rory O'Brien going, gets the hand pass away. Kilbridge is in on goal. Needs a bit of help here, Sean Kilbridge. He's been fouled. Here's the call from referee Jonathan Hayes. And says a blatant tug on the jersey is the call, and Monaleen did not need to give that free away.
No, they had the danger kind of snuffed out a small bit, but like I suppose you're just desperate stuff at times and you do desperate things. But brilliant have a feel again, like Martin Scannell's super ball, and Rory O'Brien has been really impressive inside. Like he's been another day he'd probably taken on a few chances himself, but today he's moving the ball around. He's become a real serious ball winner inside there. The other end, Monaleen are probably trying a few balls now that are low percentage stuff, and it's they probably need to raise a green flag pretty soon if they're going to try and claw their way back into, because Casey's will just keep possession when they get it, and 13 points on the board at the minute. It's impressive scoring.
It is indeed. There's Scannell sends that one high and over the netting here in McNeville Park. We've played nearly 16 minutes of the second half, and it's Father Casey's that lead this Irish Wire Products Limerick Senior Football Championship round 3 game on a scoreline of 13 points to 6. And 46 minutes on the clock here as Monaleen send this one in to Darragh Murray. He's been unable to get into the game from Monaleen's point of view as their number 11, as Adrian Enright's fouled by Larkin Lyons in midfield. And it very much looks, Paranahan, that Father Casey's are heading for a third win in a row.
Yeah, they're snuffing out a lot of the Monaleen stuff fairly easily now, and they've been super impressive. Like you coming in, you'd have seen the results and thought, okay, now is their first major test, and they've so far come through with flying colours. You'd be a bit worried. Adrian Enright looks like he picked up a bit of a knock there, but even that last ball, you had Robert Brown doubling up there. Darragh Murray looks to be gone into the full forward line, but they're making sure if there's scores to be got, that they're not going to be goals, they're going to be given away.
Father Casey's for so long, a serious underage talent coming through, winning county titles at minor, going close in 21s and 20s, and yet to really hit the heights at the senior level. Are they the next team in line to try and break that Adair Newcastle West stranglehold? Yeah,
they look to be, certainly. Like, it's been, I think the last 5 years have been divided between Newcastle West and Adair, and the previous team to that was Monaleen, but I suppose they're just, we mentioned Brian Donovan's probably a big loss, but Casey's, look, they've how many years now have been saying about how they've won so much underage. I think I was looking today, it's been 2009 was the last time they were actually in the county final. For a club like them, it's way too long, and they've threatened a lot, but they look to be putting it together. Like there's so many threats running through their team now, and they're so athletic looking, and it's finally beginning to pay dividends. The stuff they won underage, you think, but Monaleen probably not happy with their performance so far today, but that aside, you'd have to be impressed with Casey's.
Yeah, there's Darren Golden O'Mahony on for Monaleen in place of Ger Clancy. And Father Casey's have taken Robert Brown off as well. We'll confirm who's on for him in a moment, but the big concern here for Father Casey's at the moment is the well-being of their star player Adrian Enright, and he seems to be in a bit of trouble here, Pat.
Yeah, there's kind of strapping his up just above his knee at the minute, so I don't know, is it a twist or a hamstring injury, or they'll be hoping it's nothing too serious anyway, but because he's massive from, like, you can see there, even as good as they are around the field, he's the instigator of a lot of the stuff. Like, he's a tough tackler, he break tackles, especially at club level. To be fair, he's able to break those tackles even more so, and get that ball into the inside line, and he's a real leader. Like, he's come on so much in the last 18 months with Limerick as well, and he's really brought it to the table for his club as well.
So that's the big concern here for Father Casey's here, as Adrian Enright gets back up on his feet. He's limping quite badly though away from that at the moment, so And something to certainly keep an eye on here in the final 10 minutes or so in McNeville Park. I think Robert Brown was only getting a sup of water on that far side while he was receiving attention. So Brown's okay to continue. Monaleen also have Alan Nicholas on the field as well. And so they're both sides going through their subs benches as well here, as Father Casey's in possession now with Cormac Roach. Roach finds a pass into Fikra Cotter, and Cotter has a bit of space to run into, and he's still going with it. It is Fikra Cotter, and he's being encouraged to do so by the Father Casey's sideline, but he's coughed up possession, and it's Mark O'Dwyer's two Monaleen players collide in back play, and it's a foul there, and it's going to be a free from Monaleen. They need to do things quickly here, but referee Jonathan Hayes has blown it back, and there's a substitution coming here, and it's going to be Adrian Enright. I think that's not going to be able to continue, Pat.
Yeah, and look, it probably won't mean much for today really, unless something drastic happens for the last 10. It could happen, like, because he's such an influence, but they have another game next week. Probably 3 wins is enough for the group stage at this stage, but if it's anything longer than did a couple of week job or just a knock, then it'd be a massive loss from Look, but that's for another day. Look, he's hobbling off there, and the next man is coming on, and the other leaders will have to stand up.
Yeah, that next man is Mark McCarthy, wearing number 19 for Father Casey's. Mark O'Dwyer wins possession from that free for Monaleen. Under severe pressure is O'Dwyer. Two Father Casey's players around him, but a free is given. And it's Monaleen trying to take this one quickly. It's Padraig Quinn that has it. 1 point in the second half for Quinn. And at 2 points at all that Monaleen have scored in the second half. O'Dwyer and Quinn with those for the City side. Last won the senior championship in 2016. And it's Father Case again unable to stick in that full forward line. Darren Murray showing his frustration, but just hasn't happened for Monaleen, that full forward line in the second half.
No, there's actually a nice ball is going in. It's just the players are probably deciding, have it already turned, kicked and put over the bar before it's actually won. And I'm very impressed with the Casey's backs. If they're not winning the ball, they're right there on the spot, like, and they're making sure that the forwards are getting no bit of comfort on the ball. So it's at both sides of the ball. Casey's have been really impressive, but Monaleen would certainly like to have some of those balls that they were handling gone back in.
Yeah, it's Martin Scannell dropping deep from the number 14 position, but he's been sweeping on an off-ball game here as Eli Reardon plays this one down the line to Mark McCarthy, who's just on the field for Adrian Enright. Still going as McCarthy. He's Rory O'Brien on the run again. Rory O'Brien, well, he's lost one for a change here, and he's won a free too, has Peter Clark. Maybe it wasn't just enough juice on the pass for him. Clark was able to get back and get the challenge in on O'Brien. O'Brien with the foul.
Yeah, he was just trying to use his body there, Rory, to kind of shield it off, but fairness to Peter, he's around the block. It was a bit too long for that now, and nipped in and won his free well, and it was one of the few times the Casey's actually turned the ball over going up the field.
Yeah, rare occasion, certainly in the second half anyway, for Father Cases. Derek Kennedy goes on the run with this one, finds a pass to Peter Cusick. Cusick now on to O'Shea, has Shane Cusick on the run outside him, and Shane Cusick now haven't got enough of him on the ball in the second half of Monaleen. It was a danger in the first half. He's forced to go backwards again here towards Luke Murphy. Luke Murphy now has the ball, gives it back to Marlowe. Conor Marlowe getting involved there. That's Luke Murphy out to the left hand side now. And again, Monaleen just forced to stay in and around the 65 here as Alan Nicholas takes possession for Monaleen. Nicholas trying to get a bit of space, isn't coming though. And it's back to Padraig Quinn, back to Nicholas again. Again, Father Case is doing exactly what they need to do. Conor Marlowe, and it's good possession for Monaleen, but they go nowhere with it, and Father Casey's have forced a turnover off Darren Murray, and there's room for Dylan Quirk to run into here for Father Casey's. Through that ball, surely referee says no. Looked a blatant one from our angle here in the commentary box. It's Martin McCarthy on the run, no free for coming to McCarthy, but Martin Scannell is there to pick up the loose ball, timed his run in perfectly, did the Father Casey's number 14. Now it's Rory O'Brien, Peter Clark is with him. O'Brien looking into the middle, finds the pass to John Reardon. It's Reardon with the shot, over the bar she goes from Father Casey's point of view, and it's another score, 14 points to 6, and they're full value for it.
Yeah, it was a couple of maybe making up for a mistake there, maybe with a throw and then not giving a free, but they reacted well to Casey's, and John Reardon's like still good for a score even at this stage. And 14 points to 6, it's the scoreboard is looking as comprehensive as it looks on the field as we're watching it as well, like, and it's getting a bit lively in the sidelines, but that always adds a bit of spice to it.
A guy like John Reardon to come off the bench as well, it's a huge bonus.
Yeah, especially when you're up in the game, because you don't have to chase it, like, so he can sit in and get on ball and just move it and pop it and go, like, and you can even see that last time that Casey's were well set there. Monaleen were kind of knocking but not really trying to do anything different, and once they turned them over, then they have the legs with Dylan Quirk and these lads to get up the field, and you'd 1v1 inside with Rory O'Brien again, and he's shown really well in this match, and they've got another score on the board, and 14 points is nothing to be left at senior football.
No, it's not. Father Casey's heading towards a third win out of 3 games, unless a miracle comes from Monaleen, and they need goals, and they need them quickly here in the final 5 minutes of regular time here in McNeville Park. It's Darren Murray that has it. It's a good pass back to Shane Cusick. Cusick gets the pass away now, and it's Larkin Lyons heading towards goal lines, gets it across the edge of the square. Mark O'Dwyer's there, they're going to need it. O'Dwyer back in his left, gets the shot away. It's not a good one from O'Dwyer's point of view. They'll do well to keep this in play. It's gone over the end line in the end, but they needed to go for goal. Just the angle wasn't there for O'Dwyer.
Yeah, there was a lot of blue jerseys back there, and he probably made the most of what he could before he took the shot, and you're talking millimetres of a difference trying to fit it into a gap there, but he had to go for it. Like, have to go for goals at this stage, and you can see though he has an eye for it and he'll go for it, but it's probably getting to the stage now where it's desperation time for Monaleen.
And kick out comes from Shane O'Connell, goes along with it. Up goes Chris Smith. Good work though from Peter Cusick there. And there's a head injury here to the Monaleen player on the ground. I think it's Luke Murphy that was up and about trying to win that. Just it's Larkin Lyons indeed. And just got a little knock. He's okay to continue by the looks of things here, as Conor Marlowe's going to go in for the throw-in. So it's Father Cases that hold all the aces here. It's a free for Monaleen, and it's going to be taken quickly. Conor Marlowe takes it into Darren Golden O'Mahony. A high hand pass to Ono Shane. He was lined up there all the way. John O'Riordan saw that coming a mile off. Couldn't help himself,
Yeah, it was the definition of a hospital pass there. It was asking for trouble, and there was nothing malicious in the renting, but it was just a stoppable force and a movable object. And look, no one got hurt there. It's borderline, but it's probably amber, but it's definitely not a red, and it's yellow is probably the most you were looking at there.
Yeah, it's the first yellow card of this evening's clash, as Ger Collins takes this free for Monaleen. It's well within his compass, especially with the breeze. He's in a few metres outside the D. As Ger Collins strikes this one over the bar. That one is sent by the Monaleen number 15, but as we mentioned, it's goals they need them fast.
Yeah, look, you take your medicine there and you take a pint and you get set up again, but 14 points to 7, we're heading into the last couple of minutes really, and they haven't threatened too much of goals, to be honest. It's not like they've had them and missed them. It's probably Casey's overall that have had the goal chances and missed them, and he's pushing Donal O'Sullivan up now for kickouts. Look, it's probably something they need to do anyway.
Try anything at this stage for Monaleen. Ball is played on the ground by Father Casey, so the free wasn't taken from the correct position, and Janet Hayes had blown the whistle long before the ball was delivered, so they knew what was ahead of them there, did Monaleen. It's going to be Derek Kennedy to take this one, and they need something quickly here, Monaleen. They are running out of time. They've gone backwards with it initially. It's Padre Quinn. He's got Peter Clark over towards this near side, and it's Clark now who'll take play over the midfield line and into Father Casey's territory. Gets the pass to Shane Cusick. There's not much happening in front of Shane Cusick here, and it's Conor Marlowe into the middle to Larkin Lyons, and Lyons doesn't have too many options in front of him either. There's Collins moving inside, but it's not enough from Monaleen's point of view. Ger Collins has it onto his left foot now. Ger Collins is trying to caress that one in, but it never had the angle that Ger Collins. Not sure whether he was trying to deliver it with the left or have a go with the shot, but either way it didn't work out.
No, and probably we haven't seen enough of Ger in the second half on the ball if you're Monaleen, and even that last play, the whole Father Casey's team are inside the 45. It's not something they've been doing the whole match, but they know now they just need to keep the goals out, and they're getting set up defensively. And 14 points to 7 points in it. you're looking at 2 goals at this stage nearly if you're going to make a race for it, and they're not threatening too much, but you just have to keep knocking along and see what comes of it.
Yeah, another sub for Father Casey's. Martin Scannell's evening is over, and Donna Kelly wearing number 24 has replaced him. Well, it's Monaleen now that through Padraig Quinn have possession. Owen O'Shea has it now, moving up from full back. O'Shea needs a bit of help, finds it on his left shoulder. Monaleen again just going over and back. Ger Collins has it for Padraig Quinn. Quinn really in trouble there, adjudged to have been fouled. And was taken quickly by Alan Nicholas. Conor Marlowe pass now across to Dara Murray. It's Murray trying to get this one across. Maybe he's forced to go backwards outside the 21 once more. It's come to Alan Nicholas. He's been told to have a go. That was a shot. It's going to drop in and around the edge of the square. It might bounce for Monaleen. It hasn't. And Father Casey's through Cormac Roach, I think, that has won that one. Fouled as he went to win it, but the shot came in from Alan Nicholas and it was definitely a shot.
It was.
Didn't work out.
Yeah, just there's a small bit of a lack of ideas about how they're going to create the chances. It is hard because the Caseys have so many back, they can afford to almost give up the point opportunities, but to be fair to their defenders, they're not. They're putting pressure on every kick, and it's making life very difficult if you're trying to break it down, and there's only a couple of minutes left, and Casey's have probably kind of neglected a small bit of their attacking play now because they know they just need to protect the lead.
And that's all what it's about. Indeed it was Fiachra Cotter that came out with possession there for Father Casey's. And it's he that is down receiving a bit of attention now, but apart from Father Casey's point of view, they'll be absolutely delighted with how tonight has gone.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting actually to see as it goes on now, because 3 wins probably gets you out of the group. They'll be meeting Newcastle West, I don't know, is it next week or in a month's 5 weeks time, but that'll probably decide now who gets it directly through to the semi-final. If Adrian Enright's missing and it's next week, it's a big loss, but they'll be very happy with their evening's work tonight so far.
Shane O'Connell with this free picks out Eli Reardon with ease on this occasion. And Reardon now just holding on to possession, eventually looks for support, finds it. Mark McCarthy gets the call from the shoulder from Robert Brown, pops the pass, and it's Dylan Cork now delivering to again Rory O'Brien out in front. Brilliant stuff from the Father Casey's number 15. He's off, he goes with, he's got Cathal Broderick inside. It comes to Broderick, good way across, comes to brilliant save from Donald O'Sullivan. The shot came in from Chris Smith, ends up being a point blank save from O'Sullivan. He's kept the scoreline down from Monaleen.
Yeah, and I suppose as goalkeeper you'd have pride in keeping your nets intact, and he's had 3 brilliant saves, or in particular that one was a brilliant save rather than the first half where he used his body well, but it looked goal all over that. Rory O'Brien again causing so much trouble with his hard running, and a good pass in. Looked like there was definite goal on the cards there, but brilliant save from Donald over the bar with 15 points to 7.
Yeah, Father Case is really impressive stuff from them here as Derek Kennedy tries to bring a bit of life into this Monaleen side. There's a foul on Padraig Quinn. The referee says no. He plays away, eventually blows the whistle. And there was certainly a collision. It was Darren Golden O'Mahony indeed that was involved there as Rory O'Brien trots back into the forward line for Father Casey's. And a few players down now. We're seeing Chris Smith just struggling maybe with a bit of cramp. It was warm when we started, Pat, even though it was fairly windy. It's certainly not warm in McNeville now.
No, it's definitely winter is definitely our autumn is always here.
This is the type of last few minutes of a game, you've done a lot of running. This is where you pick up an injury.
Yeah, it is, and like if you're either team, really, you don't want it because the game is gone both ways. Like, so you certainly, if you're Casey's, you certainly don't want to pick up anything silly in it. And it's always these moments. It's either a card or an injury that you pick up, but you just need to manage it. You need to manage your body. You need to manage the game. And to be fair to Casey's, they're managing both at the minute.
And Derek Kennedy has this one as Donald O'Sullivan makes his way in and around the edge of the square. He's under 14 at the moment. He's made it into the square, but that one should be won by Robert Brown and is won. And Monaleen have a slight problem, but Father Casey's aren't going to be pushing up too far as this one's cleared by John Reardon towards Rory O'Brien. O'Brien has been outstanding all game, but this time he's been cut out just over the sideline there. And a little bit of a set two with Peter Cusick. Nothing really in that, and play comes away here, and it's going to come out to Donald O'Sullivan. Looking to advance this one towards Larkin Lyons. Lyons now with a bit of space to run into, but again he's only got 4 players in front of him immediately, forced to come back into the middle, and Father Casey's have done that so well all game, Pat.
Yeah, they've locked up the middle area the whole time, and there's been so few opportunities. Like, they're doing their best here, Monaleen, but again, like, it's just running into a blue wall at the minute, and it is hard to move them out of there when you're down this much. The chance to go at them and try and create goal chances when the game is a bit closer and they can't give up points, but they know now they just don't give up the centre and give up the goals, and it's just it's almost an impossible task for Monaleen to break it down at the minute.
It is indeed, as Father Casey's going through the hand passes around the middle of the park as Donald Sullivan makes his way back into goals. And Dylan Quirk plays this one back to Cormac Roach. Roach just happy to hold on to possession. That's what it's all about here, and that's what it's pretty much been all about in the second half of this Irish Wire Products Limerick Senior Football Championship clash. It's Father Casey's heading towards a round 3 victory here in McNeville Park. As Dylan Quirk has this one, plays it to Donna Kelly. Kelly takes the mark, and he's gonna referee Jonathan Hayes blew the whistle. The mark wasn't called, and Donna Kelly goes backwards with it. Bit of confusion there from all and sundry.
I think it'll be confusion till it's stopped being a rule, but it's something that causes some referees referee differently. But that fairness, Jonathan there done a call, didn't he give it to him? So there's always a bit of confusion though about it.
And up comes Dermot Buckley now for Father Casey's, an ambitious one, we'll call it, off the left boot there. No harm in trying it at this stage of the game, but it's easy pickings for Donald Sullivan and the Monaleen keeper as Derek Kennedy has been impressive throughout at centre back for Monaleen, it has to be said, trying to get things rolling again here. But again, it's Rory O'Brien trying to force a turnover. O'Shea's done well to hold on to it, but Derek Kennedy can't get it into the hand, chips it back for O'Shea, and then again back to Peter Cusick. We've played over 5 minutes of added time at the end of this second half. It's Father Casey's heading to a 15 points to 7 victory at the moment. They'll look to maybe hold on to that now. They're not too pushed about adding to their score. 8 points is happy enough for them. And it's Monaleen now that they're going to deliver this one long and high in through Luke Murphy. It's good movement in there from Mark O'Dwyer. O'Dwyer has eventually got it into his hand. He's going to run, and a bit of smart defending. No fear of that, him going past there. Mark O'Dwyer tries to strike it. It's going to be brought into the middle, and maybe a chance for Darragh Murray or Ger Collins to have a crack from 14 metres, as we're going to have another sub here for Father Casey's.
Yeah, not too many of these ends up in the back of the net, but it'll be something to look at for a second. I think Mike Meehan was the only one I ever remember with the drop shot that time, but look, it'll be something to look. It looks like Mark O'Dwyer wants to hit it after winning it. But yeah, look, he's been dangerous when he's been on, to be fair to Mark. And like you mentioned, Derek Kennedy at centre half has been put to the fore from Monaleen. It's hard on the losing side, but he's been pressing all day.
Yeah, O'Dwyer strikes it, went for the goal, you can be sure of that, but it was always going to be too high. It's an 8 point for Monaleen, but it's Father Casey's all the way here in McNeville heading to victory, and it's a fairly impressive one at that. So Shane O'Connell in absolutely no rush with the kick out. Donald Sullivan, his opposite number, is on the Father Casey's 45. That's the full-time whistle blown by referee Jonathan Hayes here in McNeville Park, and it's Father Casey's. They've advanced to a 3rd victory from their 3 group games to date, and Ranahan, it's been a very impressive championship so far from this Abbeyfield outfit.
Yeah, they've really kind of added to what they've done so far in the first 2 games, and it was a game up till maybe early in the second half, and you just felt with the breeze maybe Monaleen would come back into it. But if anything, cases were more impressive in the second half against the breeze. They ran the ball well, they worked the ball well, they defended very well, and even when they lost Adrian Enright there for the last 10 minutes, they still were able to create scoring opportunities for Monaleen. Look, you'd still fancy them to get out of the group and be a danger. They're always a danger as the year goes on. They seem to get players back from everywhere. And Brian Donovan, of course, in Chicago at the minute, so I'm sure he'll be home at some stage and will add a lot to that attack. But you'd have to say Casey's really have put their hands up as championship contenders, not just tonight, but so far this year.
That's it from us here in McNeville Park, where Father Casey's have beaten Monaleen on a 15 points to 8 point scoreline. Many thanks to Pa Ranahan in co-commentary duties this evening here in Rathkeale. That's all from us. Join us for more live action soon.